You know how sometimes you meet people and you think, nah, they're too nice to be true? Well, in this particular case, he is not too nice to be true. He is very nice, but it's also very sincere. Richmond Blackwell, who's here with Blackwell Automotive, had no idea I was going to introduce him that way, but it's always a pleasure to see you.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I don't want to pretend that you're not here to talk about the great things that you do for your customers at Blackwell Automotive, but the honest truth about Richmond is that you seem to have a lot more fun talking about the things you do at the business to help other people and other nonprofits than you do saying, hey, come on and I'll get your oil changed.
Oh, yeah. To us, it's a business, but if you're not serving your community, then, what's the point?
You came our way for the first time in the early pandemic days, and you had this ability to have toilet paper to give to people when that was such a hot commodity. You thought nothing of saying, come on our way and we'll give you some.
Yeah, and, depending on how the virus goes and, what other restrictions, we're there to help. So however, creative ways we can, or whatever creative things we can think of, we're going to be there with everybody through it.
Okay, so we'll talk the community service angle in a minute, but I want you to help me with something because I am far from a mechanic. So here we are on hitting these days. We're going to have some still warm days and then a cold one coming in right behind it. Is it too early to start thinking about getting your car winterized, Richmond?
No, now's a good time, and you don't have to do as many things as you used to do in the old days because a lot of the fluids last forever. And the main thing, you want to check your battery, make sure it's good because the colder it is, the harder it is to start the car. So it takes a little bit more oomph from the battery to get it going. So just have it checked out, have your tire pressures checked, and even when we have the first real cold snap, which could be this weekend, you may want to have them checked the week after that because they'll drop as the temperature drops.
Do you ever have people come in and just say, I'm not sure what the tread's like on my tires, can you take a look? And you'll just give them your advice?
Yeah, we can do that and let them know, approximately how long they have left, and then we can check the brakes and other things like that, especially if people are traveling for the holidays. It's not good to come 2 days before the holiday because everybody's doing that, but come a few weeks before you're planning to go out of town, just in case there is something that needs to be addressed, so you end up not having to rent a car.
You begin to know your car much like you know your children, so you know its little knocks and idiosyncrasies, right? But is it true or false that it's important for every car to have their oil changed at 3,000 miles?
No, most of them are now between 5,000 to 10,000 miles even. And so it's good to have the car checked every 5,000, even if you're not having the oil changed, because if something develops just within a few thousand miles of your oil change and you change it every 10,000, then it may be 8,000 miles before that's seen, and maybe you can do something to prevent it from getting worse, if it's seen early.
That prevention is your key right there. So when we go into the winter months, does the cold affect the belts in your car differently? Is this a good time to have your belts checked?
It can. Just an overall inspection would be good because the weather does play a difference. Wet weather, it'll do different than it does in dry, and then the colder it gets, you may start hearing noises that you never heard before. Or if you notice that your heater's not working well, sometimes that can be related to the heater itself, but it could mean that your antifreeze is low because it uses the warmth of the antifreeze to heat the car. And so if you notice anything in the next few weeks, you may be feeling things that you've not felt because it's been warmer outside. So whether it's with us or your regular mechanic, just swing by and have them take a look, before something more major may happen.
And then if there is an issue where you need to leave your car, folks can leave it with you on site and then come back when it's ready to pick it up.
They can, and because of the pandemic too, if they don't want to come into contact with us, they're welcome to bring it by and drop the key in our drop box even when we are open, and then call us from their car and tell us what they want us to check, and then that way they don't have to come into contact with anyone if they don't want to.
Perfect. I know that you look at your staff as family. You do a lot for them and with them, but you were telling me about a lady who makes jellies, is this right?
Yeah, one of our customers, Nancy, she makes homemade jelly or homemade jam or preserves. It's good. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, she does 20 or 30 different flavors, and we're going to have that for sale. And then the proceeds from that go to her church's daycare. And so that'll start sometime, maybe the first week of November. We'll have those, and we've done that for the last 5 or 6 years. And we have a lot of people that come in just for that don't need anything to do with their car at the moment, but come in and get that. And they're usually $5 or $6 a piece, depending on the size. And so it's a good, unique, like Christmas present for someone like office staff or acquaintances or something. People come and buy 5 or 10 at a time to give out as Christmas presents.
I told you that he doesn't really sound like he's believable, but he is. I mean, it's like small town USA, Richmond, that you would be able to do this.
Yeah, we love being a part of Chattanooga. We love being a part of Brainerd. We just love being a part of the community. So any way that we can, step in and help. And of course, we want to work on cars and fix cars, but we also want to be a blessing. So.
And you do know that getting your car fixed is one of the most fearful things, especially for women, because we don't always speak the vocabulary. And I know you've got kids of your own, so if you see a young college student pull in and say, I don't know quite what's wrong with my car, y'all aren't going to take advantage.
And we have that a lot too because of UTC and some of the other colleges around here, where the student will come drop it off, and then the dad or mom call from Memphis or Cookville or places like that. And so like you said, being 18, 19, 20, you may not know anything about cars.
Right.
And so we do a lot of those, especially over spring break too, when kids come home that are away at college, evaluate the college to get them ready to go back.
So I'm so glad you could find your way here this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for your time. Here's the information where you can find Richmond. And when you're there, if you want to enjoy a conversation, they'll be happy to talk to you, too. And you mentioned you've got picnic tables outside.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we've got 2 picnic tables and 2 benches outside. And we just had our windows painted for fall, like, the old stores used to do, and have their windows painted around Christmas time. And so there's a lady that I used to go to church with that she's got a business called 10 Talents, and she does paintings and things, and her name's Shelby Vandegrift. But if you get a chance to go by and see our windows, the fall scenes will be up until about the first or second week of November. Then we're going to change it out to a winter and Christmas scene.
Okay. Richmond, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
There's his address there on your screen, phone number, and website as well. He is another example of a local business supporting the local community in every way he possibly can. Thanks again.
Thank you.